right, we are live. What is going on, Facebook? Bow, bow, bow. Putting on the noise today because we have a good one, a very good one. My camera broke, so you get this shitty Mac thing, but whatever. Guys, what are we talking about today? Well, we're talking about the continuation of the journey that we started talking about last week, which was $40 million in high ticket sales. And now, today, I want the guy responsible for it. It's this guy over here. This guy wave at the crowd. Rahul, wave at the crowd. He traveled. He's on the road. He's traveling around. He's all the way down in San Fran. He said, fuck it. I'll park on the side of the road. I'll find somewhere to go do this live and do this stuff, guys. He's going to talk today about the 3 do's and the 3 don'ts for every single sales call. That's stuff that he's learned from all of these closings. The man still does it today. Doesn't have to, but he does it because he likes doing it. Same shit that I do, man. We still take sales calls because it's fun. And you know why it's fun? It's because we know we're helping people. And we always leave from some sort of version of help. And that shit energizes us to do more stuff. Now, a few of these do's and don'ts, guys. Number 1, don't get attached to a sale you never had to begin with. Get the damn credit card. If I could, would. What does that mean? I don't know. Gibberish. But open that loop and think about it later, because if I could, would is literally the closing hack that I've seen the man use and has been directly responsible for many, many zeros. Many, many zeros, guys. So many zeros. He knows exactly what to do to increase your bottom line. He knows exactly what to do to win some sales. And if I may say so, he's willing to say some fucked up shit to get there. No, we won't go into that today, but it's just some good stories for a later time, right? But guys, if you keep these 3 simple things in mind, the shit that Rahul is going to really break down for you today, you're going to be turned into a sales Jedi. One more open loop that I want to open up for you today, guys, and drop a comment down below. A couple of things. Give me the heart. You know how we do. Heart button, please and thanks. Hashtag live, hashtag replay down below. And at the end of this, guys, the end of this live here today, we're going to be going through something that we're doing a beta launch for just for you guys. Just for you guys, all right? 7-day sales Jedi, where we're going down and breaking through objections, live objections. We're introing sales objections. We get a live role play of each one and an actual live recording of a real life high ticket sales call of us handling those objections. If this is something you think would be super useful, helpful to have, like a literal roadmap, including what we call our little flashcard sheet cards, where it says the objection, gives the actual response, and on the back gives the actual recording to it. If all of this stuff sounds like something you'd be interested in, guys, we are currently thinking of doing a quick little beta launch of it, where it's just absolutely next to nothing for just you guys, just to gauge some interest on how it is and if you guys like it and making it better. I want to open that loop because today's all about sales, and that's going to be something that we are looking to get to you guys, just you guys in this family, on our list and in our groups, all of that kind of stuff over the next little bit. So just to open that loop, if that's something that you guys think might be interesting, if that's something that you guys might want, drop something down below in the comments and say sales Jedi, or drop me a meme of Yoda. If you drop me a meme of Yoda,
I don't know if you can do graphics when we're live, but if you type in Yoda or Jedi, one of those 2 words, use those as the keywords, we'll get you over the link. Like Cody mentioned, this is going to be heavily discounted, but let's just go ahead and kind of see who's out there first. So like, who's in the audience? If you guys are there, just drop a thumbs up so we know you're present, paying attention, and just tell us where you're from. And if you want, whatever it is you sell, because then we can look through the comments and tailor some of this to you guys. And if you have questions, drop them in there. We're live for just a little bit today. We have about an hour together or so. Now, one little hack that I like everybody to do, and this helps me, so maybe it might help you too, is whenever I'm listening on people's live events, I want to get the attention of other people in the group. I want people to know me. I want Cody to know me, etc., or whoever's hosting it. So I just kind of live write my notes, or if I hear something, I just write them in the notes comment so other people that come back on the replay get help. And then also for you, it kind of gets stuck right here, because part of what I'm going to be going over is like the preparation side. And this is kind of the biggest part, is being prepared, is writing things down, rehearsing things, and making it second nature. So you're subconsciously doing stuff when you don't even know it. It's just coming out. Just like when the doctor hits your knee kicks out. We want when somebody gives you an objection, your answer is pretty fluid. Okay. So we're going to be really, really prepared. All right. So I see Jason's up in here. We got Caitlin. We got from Land of GSD Happiness. I love that. St. Pete. What's up, Scott? What's up, Seth? We got, who else we got on here? Ben. We got some more people flowing in. Just drop your comments. Let us know where you're from and what it is you sell. Okay. Now, you may not know who the heck we are. My name is Rahul. I run an agency. It's right here on this hat. So the hat makes it super official. I came from a company called Realtor.com. It's the #1 website in the world for real estate. I left the company and started this sucker. So that was about 18 years ago. Me and Cody have since partnered on the agency side. And then we also have this group right here called the GSD, where we help marketers, coaches, consultants build like an assembly line business so we can actually scale really fastly without actually going through like ups and downs and choppy waters. And when you feel that way, you have the support from team members, community to kind of rise you up. So we have a lot cooking there. But today is going to be the fun part. It's going to be all about sales. All right. So where should we start here, Cody?
Ooh, I don't know. Why don't you give a quick brief 3 do's and don'ts off the top of your head, and then let's go into the 3 main things. And they can coalesce, they can exist together, but I really want to know, like, look, I think people want to know simplicity. I always say complexity is the enemy of scale, right? And so people want to be able to sell massive shit. They want to be able to make big dollars. Then first they need to know, rules. What are the rules and regulations for every high ticket agency or coaching? And we do both, 7 figures in each, 40 million in sales. I feel the need to keep saying that because Rahul said maybe they don't know who we are. So, social proof, social proof, social proof. And they need to know some quick hit rules and regulations. So dive into what's been your kind of boundaries and your own personal rules as you've kind of crossed these thresholds.
Yeah, definitely. And I just plugged this mic in. Can you guys hear me pretty clearly in the audience? Just give me a heart or a thumbs up, or yes, I can hear you really clearly. Someone in the comments for me, because I know Cody can hear me, but I want to make sure my audio is using. If I'm going to pay for an expensive couple $100 mic, I want it to be used. So let's see. Okay, Lou Scotty, what's up, my friend? Okay, yes, you can hear me. All right, perfect. All right, so the first thing that I want to start off with, because this is how I learned a really, really valuable lesson, because believe it or not, when I was about up until around the age of 19, I was a pretty shy person. Like the guys that you guys know me now, you may think like I talk a lot, I can do anything in any scenario, that know me intimately. But back then I was so shy that I didn't even like to order McDonald's. I would have my mom or a friend or whoever I was with order for me. And that's how shy I was. And then my very first job was commission only sales. And I'm like, oh shit. Like I actually have to talk for a living. I have to learn stuff for a living. And my roommate at the time was really good, had what they called the gift of gab, but he was actually a pretty phenomenal salesperson. He was more of like a boiler room, hardcore, roughneck salesperson. And that wasn't necessarily my style, but I liked hearing it because he was quoting movie quotes. So I thought it was the coolest shit. And then once I had joined that program or that company, it was selling credit card machines. So it's pretty fucking hard to sell those. If you guys are familiar with merchant services, it's kind of like a snake oil sales like play. You're basically selling machines to people who open up a new business, and your sales list is a DBA list. Basically, if you open up a business, you get a list, you get their name, their phone number, and then you just hammer them. And so does 20 other companies, and you try to win business. So my first week or so, I was just sitting there on the phones. And I remember this vividly. This is like, I don't know what year this is, but it was a long time ago. Some of you guys may not be born then, but I remember just sitting there and the guys were like, hey man, like you're not going to make any money if you don't pick up the fucking phone. And from that, I clicked. I was just sitting there absorbing. But more, I was actually scared. I didn't want to hear my own voice. I didn't want them to hear my voice. And worse, I didn't want the person I'm supposed to make my commissions off to help get processing hear my voice. The one thing that I narrowed it down to is I was completely unprepared and I had no confidence. So I had to solve that. The reason I had no confidence is because I'd never sold. And the reason I didn't sell is because I didn't know the product. So the first thing we want to do is be absolutely abundantly prepared. We have to know your product. You have to know if it's yours, like you have a mindset coaching business or you sell SEO or some data. You have to know your product instinctively inside of your heart, inside of your soul. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to learn along the way even deeper, but you have to know that first. Number two is going to be, who do you actually sell to? Because if you're going to be selling like luxury vehicles like Ferraris, you're not going to sell it to somebody who like lives in a neighborhood that has maybe $35,000 average income. It doesn't make any sense. You'll be spinning your wheels. You'll be killing yourself. You'll be like, oh, I suck at sales. Then it must be the offer. It must be the vehicle. It must be me. But no, it's because we're attacking and going after the wrong crowd. We're in the wrong neighborhood for that. So we just have to know exactly who our avatar is. And then, of course, coupled with avatar is going to be the niche. Like some of you guys are like, I can sell websites and SEO to anybody that says yes. It's probably going to be a long road to success, because when you sell to everybody, you sell to nobody. Does that make sense for everybody? When you sell to everybody, you sell to nobody. So when you sell to everybody, who do you sell to? Nobody. Yeah,
Nope.
because I've done that. I've done that. I'm pretty good at this stuff. And I've done that because I've tried to sell websites to tech companies. I've tried to sell SEO to doctors. It's a whole different wild ball game. But let's just say you are talented enough to do something like that. What about the people doing the fulfillment? Are they talented enough as you that they can run with the work scope that you've put together for them? Or are you going to now be that brought in project manager, always saying, don't send this, change that. I know the business. It's all in my head. It's not documented. Those are the bottlenecks, and they cascade down, and it loses sleep. It loses love of the game. That's why it's like the hardest thing in the world to do is probably in your mind is the niche. But like, let's just say you need a knee surgery and you need to operate on your knee. You're not going to go to your gardener just because he has icy hot at his house. You're not going to go to a generalist because he knows how to give your temperature and stick his finger up your butthole, right? You're going to go to an orthoscopic surgeon that's been there, done that, a specialist, right? Because think about the conversations that you guys may have had with people. You may have jived. You may have had an amazing conversation. They feel like your solution is that they're here, the solution's here, and you're that guide over the bridge. And guess what they're going to ask? How many dentists have you worked with? What experience do you have in my field? Now what? Now you have to come up with a story why that doesn't make sense to have a specialist, right? But if you are the specialist and you are in that industry, you now are jumping headfirst, cannonballing into a red ocean. Now, when you jump into the red ocean, you're going to part your blue area, like blue, like my shirt, beautiful baby blue, right? So you'll find your niche within your niche. You're going to part that sea. The way we do that is we come up with a little bit of contrast. So if I sell websites and you sell websites, I'm going to find a way to contrast it the way other people are stating it. And I don't need to go secret shop. I don't give a shit who the competitors are, because there's really one competitor, and it's really you staring at you. That's all what you have to know. Who cares how many people are out there? Who gives a fuck about other offers? That's not you. You can try to get help. You can try to copy somebody. That's not necessarily the solution, but you have to find that contrast when you're in a marketplace full of commodities in the mind of the prospect before they get to you. That's really important. So a couple of things, like if I'm selling websites, mine's going to have WordPress. It's going to have a built-in CRM so you don't lose leads. It doesn't just go to an email. It can go to a whole distribution list. It can connect to your CRM. It can do some automation. And in fact, what I do and I like to do is I like to have SEO in mind, because there's nothing worse in the world than building a website and then you want to do the marketing and then you find out that the code is not set up and you have to actually redo the entire website. So what we'll do is we'll pick your best keywords now. And then as you want to actually drive traffic in, we'll do some more substantial research and then we'll be able to rank it. So that's areas where if you are selling websites, contrast it. If you're selling CRM, SaaS, contrast it. Find that gap that they didn't think of that has higher value. And when they talk to other people, either before you or after you, they're thinking about your solution because you're different. You made it actually more valuable for them in their mind. Does that make sense for everybody? I know I kind of went on a mouthful, but this is all preliminary information, because if we skip this shit, which is the unsexy, boring shit, but it's so important if you want to bust commissions, you want to sell 100 grand in a month all by yourself without a fucking team. These are all things that are all 100% without a shadow of a doubt, totally possible, because you guys everybody has this skill in them. It's just the confidence and the preparation, and like some sort of gap is missing, like a little hinge in somebody's like life is missing to swing open that huge ass door, big motherfucking door, because there's always something behind it. And for you guys to be watching this live and being in this group and running an agency or selling for somebody, you guys have a little bit of crazy in you. Because you believe it's worth it. You believe the gold is there. You believe that something is going to unlock everything. It's a skill, it's an asset, it's a person that can help you that's going to unlock all of that stuff. And then it's just like, boom, it's now you're going to think, fuck, why didn't I know this information years ago? How did I now just get it?
Big takeaway here from what he said. Couple of do's, couple of don'ts. Number one, be the expert. find the blue ocean within the red ocean, as in find the niche within the niche and have an understanding of who you're talking to, provide clarity. Confused people don't buy. Okay? Repeat that to yourselves like 40 million times.
Somebody drop that in the comment, please, because that's gold. Like, I mean, because like the way people get confused is you don't know the product as well, or you're explaining it in multiple areas all at once and kind of intersecting like different things in a conversation.
Using your
Or
own language.
exactly, you're using your own language. And then the person can't buy, because if you're going to be talking about like metadata and pixels and schema markup and that kind of language, well, I mean, if it's a doctor, you pretty much lost them. If it's anybody who doesn't know marketing like you do, you've lost them. The only way you use fancy language is if you're going to back it up and tell them, saying, hey, there's some fancy stuff like schema and metadata. That's what our techie guys do. And all that simply means is we have to put some certain code, we have to follow a Google guideline, and then that's going to make us rank. And what we found is most people don't know about this, and that's why we have it. Does that make sense? I didn't say anything there. All I just did was explain techie shit and says, Google says do it, and you are going to like that, right?
Let's dive into a couple of hard no's now. Okay, so I love confused people don't buy. I know somebody shouted it in the thing, and then I think Scotty said he is confused, so that must be why he's not buying yet. And I understand, man, and we'll help you get through it. Caitlin says confused people don't buy. I love it. Like Caitlin's kicking some ass. I love seeing Caitlin doing some. She's a good story to tell people, guys, because she fucking took some risks and got some rewards lately by getting shit done and taking action. Those are my favorite kind of people. So huge shout out to her. She's done a lot of great shit this week. So Caitlin, if you're out there, very impressed with you. Keep getting shit done. Happy you chose us to be a part of your journey. And I'm really impressed with your results so far. So Rahul, 2 things I want you to dive into. All right. We did a bunch of that shit. We got at least 1 or 2 do's and don'ts over there. I want to dive into 2 things that matter so much. They're going to sound a little bit simple, but oh my God, they're just such significant don'ts. Number 1, don't get attached to a sale you never had to begin with. What are your thoughts on that? Don't get emotionally attached or distraught about a sale you never actually had in the first place.
This is the first lesson of sales that I ever learned. When I was in that credit card processing job, I'm so thankful I actually did do that, because while I didn't stay very long, I think I stayed for like 6 months at this job before I didn't like it. I realized that's not what I wanted to do forever. But the very first thing is, don't get attached to a sale you never had. It's because you're going to sound desperate. You're going to sound like you're chasing something. You're sounding possessive. You're sounding assumptions. So you're already feeling like, if this guy closes, I'm going to have this money and buy that thing. So in your mind, Cody's head, if I'm trying to sell to him, he's just a dollar sign to me. And then it affects my language. It affects the way I'm actually going to present. But if I'm totally neutral, and just like you'd walk into your doctor's office, he's not be like, hey man, like, so what did you budget for this surgery? Like, oh man, like all excited. Like you can feel that energy. You can feel that shark trying to suck your fucking blood. We want to just be calm and neutral, because we don't even know if we can help somebody. We have something people do want and people do get results from, but we don't know if it's good for you. So let's have that conversation. So once we're attached, it's going to come out. Some people call it commission breath. Some people call it, all I want to do is sell your shit and fuck off. We've all bought those things from people, right? We all have been experienced on the other side. How did that feel to buy something and the person who sold it to you never kind of all delivered, or they just never showed up when they said they'd show up, right? So those are the things we don't want to do, is get attached, because you're going to be at peace with yourself. You guys have probably already heard this over and over again. Don't get attached to a sale you never made, because you never got the credit card. You never actually billed it and never processed it. They never signed the contract. So you don't even have it. So why be attached?
Just guys, I want to also say, put in the chat if this sounds familiar. You've got 2 or 3 calls in a day, and your very first call, you don't close. And you're almost like a poker player on tilt. So now you've lost your energy. You've lost your confidence. And now you already know, going into your next 2 sales calls, you're completely dreading having them. You've already written them off, and and why? Because you're distraught about losing the sale. And this is what we're saying. Like, part of this is you didn't lose the sale. You had an opportunity, you did your best, and you learned from it, and you go take another swing, but you didn't lose a sale. And this is what a lot of people think is like, this is a sale I've lost. You haven't lost that sale. You don't have that sale yet. You're trying to make that sale. And therefore, there's no emotion one way or the other. It's on to the next at bat. If you let yourself go on tilt, you're going to mess up all the other opportunities you have. But if you can have an emotional IQ, if you can have a situation where you can keep control, keep calm, and then anchor yourself back to that good state, and state management is stuff that maybe we'll go over on another day, right? Then you'll be able to go in there freaking swinging. All right, so if that sounds like you guys, let me know it in the comments. Carson says, could you define a sale you don't have? And then he said it makes total sense. I'm hoping that that makes perfect sense to you, but I'll just say one more time, a sale you don't have is any sale you haven't made, guys. You're on the phone call with a sales prospect. They haven't bought anything from you yet. There is no emotional attachment to that person because they aren't a customer yet. You didn't lose anything. You have to have something to lose it. If you're in the process of trying to get it, you don't have it. And so hopefully that makes sense, Carson. Now, number 2, Mr. Rahul, I know you love this one. That's why I capitalized it in the text. It's get the damn credit card, or it's not really a close. Can you kind of dive into why this is super important, and also the effect it's had on a number of our students when you shift their mindset to this kind of stuff?
Yeah. So, I mean, I hear this all the time. I got the sale. Oh, they're on board. Our onboarding stuff is happening, or we're going to be doing SEO for this customer. They've already fully committed, but they've never committed because the only way to make a commitment is to jump headfirst in. That's really when money exchanges hands, trust is built, and then now we're going to do the damn thing. So if somebody's unwilling to give a credit card, or they have too many weird, odd excuses, like my wife, my dog just chewed it, I'm getting another one. Those stuff may be actually logistical things to have that conversation with, which could be true. That's up to you guys to figure out when you're on the calls. But when somebody does not give you a credit card, you don't have the sale, you have a pipeline that's hot. You're going to be following up. So like there's been times where we've closed deals that are 6 months out. Now, where we get the credit card, we get the signed contract. We say, hey, we're not going to start. We'll give you today's pricing because we can't predict where the price is going to go, but we know it's going one way up. Why not just commit now if you're committed to us? Let's get you out of having all these different calls and getting distracted. Focus on you until we get started. So we'll get the contract signed, we'll get the credit card information, we'll put it in our billing system. We'll make sure we keep that person like engaged and warm in conversations and add value so circumstances don't change. But it's really important in order for you to actually have the sales that you have to have the check deposited, you have to have the wire transfer done or completed with a code, and you can see it pending, or the credit card information. You can send contracts right away and do it while you're on the call, because we've all made these mistakes, right? Oh, they're going to get me a credit card or something like that. And then next thing you know, gone, poof, it's in the wind. Now, don't feel bad and beat yourself up if you've done everything you could, but that's just one thing that's so important, because that just shows the sheer commitment. Because if somebody says, I'm fully committed, I'm fully in, I love this, this is the solution, I've been waiting for it. If I don't do something, circumstances are going to be so bad for me that if I had your solution, it's going to help me. And I really don't have all the money in the world to pay, but I'm willing to bet on this. What's the credit card? Oh, well, what had happened was, oh, I don't have it. We have to stay there for a moment. They're saying, not a problem. I still have a little bit of information to go over with delivery and onboarding, but why don't we take a brief hold right now? I'll give you a chance to go get your credit card from your car, and we can maybe even walk and talk while you do that.
Guys, the last 2 things we've put together, I want to just hover on this for a second. Don't get attached to a sale you never had to begin with, that emotional state, the anchoring state we've talked about, and then get the damn credit card or it's not a close. All right, those 2 things go together. Listen to what Rahul is saying. I cannot tell you how many times we've had a student say, I got the close, And we asked, well, did you get the credit card? No. Anything signed? No. Did payment collected? No. Calm down. Because then when they don't actually close, and this is a transition we all got to go through when we're young coaches and young agencies, I tell people all the time, as a salesperson, you got to learn to live in the uncomfortable place. Because the comfort thing is what gets you off the phone thinking you have a win, and then you never get that money collected down the line. And that is being emotionally attached to something you don't actually have. Because now in your head, you're building this story. You're already counting that money, but you didn't collect that money. You didn't bring in the credit card, and you don't actually have a sale. And then when you lose that sale later on, what did you just do? You got emotionally attached to something you didn't actually have. You made up a story in your head about how you'd already earned that money before it hit your bank account, your Stripe account, your intermediary account. Then you're probably already like, I'm going to invest it. This is the new norm. This is what we're going to do. And then you get super sad. And this is where this roller coaster comes in, guys. This place where we end up getting burned out and we end up losing our business and everything sucks. It's because of this emotional crap that we go through. And a lot of this starts by not getting the damn credit card. So I really hope you're listening to this, guys. I see a bunch of you guys are hopping on that. And it looks like, I guess Ben got I see Sean already. So he did it. The madman added everyone. Yep. I guess that's a thing now. The first time we've had it work in here. I apologize.
Every time I've never tried it in a group of a big group, even our own. I've only done it in our private, where it's like our inner circle team. But yeah, I've been part of the everyone tag on other people's posts. But anyways, let's move along because we have
the last thing on here. The last thing on here is going to be a good one for you. Okay, so now this is a hack. I've heard Rahul go on and on and on about this. This is a closing hack, a closing statement, a way to get people through negotiations, objections, and everything else. Before I dive into it, guys, again, we are doing a beta launch of a program called the 7-Day Sales Jedi. If you want to master high ticket sales objections and become a Jedi, meaning some mind tricks, that's really what we're going for. I want you to stare them down. I want you to say, I know that this is not the objection you're actually telling me, and wave your hand and get rid of the smoke screen. Just get through the bullshit. They don't want to talk to their partner. They don't want to wait until next week. They just don't trust you yet. So if you want to learn how to use a Jedi mind trick to get rid of the bullshit, to get through the fog, and you want to see something like exactly how we're going to intro each sales objection. We're going to role play it with a member of our team live for you. We're going to go and find we've been doing this for how many years, Rahul? 2004 for you? 18 years for Rahul. So we have literal recordings of the man himself and me and some of our other team actually handling objections live on high ticket sales calls. We're going to show you that. We're going to break it down. And then there's all kinds of other good shit about closing do's and don'ts, priming the prospects, preparing for calls, and a whole bunch of wonderful bonuses like us breaking down dissecting sales calls, a framework masterclass, industry leader reviews. You'll love to see who this one is because we spent some time with them. And shameless plug. If you guys want this, we're doing a beta launch, meaning it is pretty much next to nothing for you guys. All right. And it's only going to be for the first, I think we said 20, and we might do the marketer thing and extend it to 30, but it's going to be 20 or 30. And then it's tripling in price, I think is what it is going to be. So if you guys want the beta access, we're also going to be doing some live Q&As, meaning you're going to have private access to us as coaching. All right. So if you want us to do some private coaching with you, I can't even express how stupid it is for us to do it, but it's a beta launch. So we want to give away a couple of extra bonuses.
It's going to be high access, low ticket it's going to be high access, low ticket because the overall goal is to get you guys to sell more shit. A lot of it's going to be some of the mindset, some of the confidence, but mostly if you're just starting, this is going to be more important. And if you're advanced or been in the industry or any industry, it's going to be even more critical for you because you've been doing it for a long time. It can make things a lot easier for you. And this goes for I don't care necessarily if you're an agency or a coach, it's going to work both ways, but we've closed multi-million-dollar deals in one shot with a boardroom of publicly traded company with one meeting, one close. And I'll kind of actually go through that close because it was a pretty fun one and a nerve-wracking one for me because I was pretty early on in my career when I closed Realtor.com. My former employer, the company I quit, wouldn't give me a $10,000 a year raise. $10,000 a year raise. Think about that. And then they ended up hiring me as their marketing vendor and then paid us $7 million. Think about that for a raise. I made $92,000 there too. So not a bad gig. And I'll kind of go over what happened in that preparation on this live right now. So I'll save some time for that. But a couple things, I'm gonna skim through this fast because I want to give some gold. The no-nos, a couple more. Don't give up. Keep going because anything worth doing is going to be hard work. You're going to get there as long as you don't give up. That may be don't niche hop too quickly. Don't change your offers too fast. Don't say Facebook is awesome for Cody, so I'm going to sell Facebook even though I'm really good at SEO. Just stick to your lane. Just get really good at that lane. And then the other stuff will become natural because the framework, you can almost plug in any product into a sales framework. It doesn't matter if you're selling windows or insurance. In fact, I'll give you some games as well that you can play so you can actually cultivate all of this stuff into your body, ingest it into your heart, your physiology, by doing some mind hacks. So you can be subliminally hacking your own brain at the same time. Number 2 is going to be stay on the calls. If they're going bad, don't be the one that says, hey, bad fit, not good. Stay on those calls because you could find your way through. Stay on until they don't want to stay on. Don't give up. Oh, we're not good fit. I hear that all the fucking time. Not a good fit for our product. It's because the questions you may have asked. Be naturally curious. Don't sell your product. Be curious if you can help. Don't sell your product. Be curious if you can help. That's the only way you're going to actually feel at peace with yourself. So you detach yourself even further. And avoid selling scared. Because if you're already scared before you hop on the call, you're probably going to fuck it up anyways. I just tell my guys, like, dude, I want you guys early on to screw as much up because that gives me one clue. You tried. You did your best. The longer the screw up, the better, because then you got the university of what doesn't work. That's important to me because then we have good training. Because if you're going to make sales, we're going to transcribe it. We're going to listen to it. We're going to replicate it. But when you screw up, the failures are going to give you the clues of what you can improve on so you can prevent them from happening in the first place. Okay. Make sense? Bookmarks, bookmark your most important shit. Bookmark your sales script, your triage script, your products, your services, your contracts, whatever the most important things are. Use one folder on your Google Chrome and have that folder. When you click it, it drops those 5 or 6 most important tabs. If there's more than five or six, you have too many. Have a different folder for like your marketing or your groups or whatever. So keep your most important 5 to 6 bookmarks in one single folder, label them clearly because time is of the essence. If you don't know the name of the file and it says the Google hyperlink because you named it after you didn't change the name, edit the fucking name it sales script, triage script, Calendly sales call, onboarding call, whatever those links are that you need to add a click without having to actually figure it out because what happens is that stupid simple hack prevents people from even finding their own script to rehearse because they're like, oh, it's on Drive somewhere. Since it's not convenient, I'll do it later. It'll eliminate that. Action is right now. Okay. Let's see what else. Record all your calls, listen to them. It's painful. You're going to understand what you like. I listened to one of my sales calls on the way here. And I'm sorry, not my sales calls, one of my coaching calls. I didn't realize I was saying like a lot. I didn't realize I was stuttering unintentionally so much. So now I have more feedback to do because I thought I sounded sexy smooth, but no, I did not.
Not to be confused with normal smooth. We've got this.
I know. I thought in my mind I sounded good, but then I had to face the music right there. And now I have levels of improvement that I can put into myself. Volume is important early on. We want to gamify ourselves. Like think of your day as 2 days in one. It's first half, second half. I'm an athlete, so I think like soccer. In our first half, we have 45 minutes plus a little bit of extra time. Now, if we're up 1-0 in the match, now we have to protect the lead and get further ahead. If we're tied 0-0, I'm going into the next half where I have to go balls to the wall because they can win, I can win. And we got to come out rocking. Now, how I compare this back to sales, my mentality when I was at Realtor.com selling for somebody else, I had to hit my quota before I went to eat lunch. That was my goal every day. So I didn't have so much of a fast intensity on the back end. I can prepare. I can go a little bit slower. I can do some learning along the way. But if I had a bad first half of my day, my second half of the day was going to be super intense. I was going to make a lot more dials, a lot more follow-ups, a lot more of my favorite clients, getting referrals, all that kind of stuff. So just think of it as like 2 days into one. First half, did I hit my goals or am I just like fucking around and nonchalantly just going through motions and kind of doing this, kind of doing that? What's your highest priority that you must accomplish? Is it building the pipeline for 4 fucking hours hardcore? Call people for an hour, DM people for an hour, email people for an hour, cherry pick and add friends for an hour on LinkedIn, on Facebook, follow some influencers and comment on LinkedIn. So you can partition that first half, but be super focused. So you're not kind of dicking around and going back and forth. Otherwise, you'll feel like you had a really productive day. But if you audit everything, you'll realize, well, shoot, what did I even do? You know what I mean? It's almost like going to Costco. You put all these groceries in the cart. It's $400. You go back to your cabinet. You're like, I barely bought anything, So it's like, that's the effects you sometimes have. Okay. All right. So now let's go over a prioritization. I kind of just touched on it on the sources. Like our hottest sources are going to be, we run a lot of marketing. So people like you in our group, we comment, we DM you, we tag you guys. We have book a call funnels that book on our calendars. Sometimes they make it, sometimes they miss. Those are the people we're going to stay the highest priority on. Then we go another level down. There's going to be missed calls, rebookings. There's going to be old age leads. And then there's going to also be just networking from people that are older, that are disengaged on our network or inside of our phone book. Or what I love, which we're got to put this in the sales Jedi. This is probably my favorite, like one of my favorite sales tactics, other than going direct, like you to your end client, like you to your dentist, you to your real estate agent, and selling the thing. I like the partnership model a lot. And you already know that. We've partnered with a lot of Facebook groups to be their ads vendor. We've partnered with realtor.com to sell to 40,000 realtors. We've partnered with people who have got us clients like Google, like Geico, like MLB to do a niche product design that they needed us to do. It's because we positioned ourselves so fucking well with people who need our service that already have the client that we would probably never get. Because I'm not going to go and Google Google's phone number. Who's the director of marketing at Google? They're not going to take my LinkedIn message. They're not going to take my call. But the dude who grew up with that dude in high school in the Silicon Valley that I happened to meet at a marketing conference 3 years ago that I stayed in touch with, then I met one of his friends. I'm like, oh, I know Rajesh. Well, you know Rajesh? And that's actually true. Some guy's name was Rajesh. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like I went to high school with this dude. I'm like, oh man, let's call him. And then we started talking, and then it led into a partner model. So you never know where these things are around you. So just be super prepared. Okay.
Oh, wait. We got to go into this last one. If I
okay,
could.
this is okay. If I could, what? All right. So let's go to the realtor.com thing. It actually works with that. So realtor.com calls me into the office. I'm thinking two things. Number one, I'm going to sell you guys. And number two is I've been cold calling all of your clients so much that something's happening. It's either good or it's neutral or maybe not so good. So we come in, I have an idea of they want to know about my product and service. That's all I knew. Really all. So I just go in, I'm a week not sleeping, printing my designs, screenshotting all my testimonials, put my process, this most elaborate fucking presentation ever. Printed it. It was like 30 pages. It was so beautiful. I'm so proud. What pissed me off is when I slid it across the table to all these different suits, not one person opened it. They put their hands on it and then just looked up at me. I'm like, motherfuckers. Next thing you know, we got into, they're asking about the process, et cetera, and we start to lean into pricing. Now I've found that there's a gap. Like we're looking for a vendor that can handle this kind of volume. And then they're trying to interview me. Do you even have the people? Do you have the staff? Do you have the talent? Do you have the wherewithal? Do you even want it? So we're going through all that. It's like, yes, and yes. And we can go into greater detail on maybe an interview of this, but I'm going to give you the chunk down version. That's the meat and potatoes. We got down to when it's going to come to everything hitting home. The question was like, if we were to be a possible match together, when do you imagine this relationship starting? That was a question I asked. And they said, well, we have a person already doing it. We acquired a company. They're in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They're doing the work. And I said, well, what makes you guys like want to explore an alternative option? Is it to maybe supplement their work because they're getting inundated too much? Or is it something else? And boom, that was the magic question. They're not even getting to our clients, causing us to cancel a lot of our revenue. We're losing millions of dollars every month by them not having the bandwidth. We need an outside vendor. So I'm like, all right, that's going to help me when we get to the price, that information. So I dug in a little bit deeper, like, what do you mean by that? Where do you think they failed? What seems to be the bottleneck? What do you think like the solution could be? And I'm just basically asking them so I can match back that I have all of those things, right? And mind you, this is a boardroom. There's a fucking attorney in there. I'm a dude that had to wear a suit for I didn't have a suit, so I got a suit, or at least I didn't have a suit that fit because I'd gained a little bit of a little weight, baby weight, let's say. We're going into it. So now we're getting to price, and they're like, well, what do you charge for all this? My question was a mirror right back saying, well, why don't we just go over what you expect? Now, the reason I did that is because I didn't know what to really charge. I planned it. I had Excel sheets with a Ernst & Young consultant help me put like all these Visio charts together. We had our minimum, our maximum. We had all these volume spreadsheets. So I was abundantly prepared and I knew it. But when I got in the room, I'm like, fuck, that's not my jam. I don't know finance and modeling that well. I'm not that smart when it comes to those numbers, but I know if I sell it at this price, my margins are going to be this much. If I sell it at like a bigger price, my margins go with the price because my cost of fulfillment was the same. Anyways, long story short, I got them to give me the price. They said the number, and in the back of my mind, I'm just smiling to myself because I'm like, I'm burning the midnight oil every single night, actually cold calling and selling at a lower price than they offered me, at a lower price. And that's to one person. These guys are saying, can you take our whole company's volume? And I didn't know what the volume was at the time. And then I found out right after. So I said, if I could accommodate you guys, would that make sense where we can start the relationship in the next 30 to 60 days and help alleviate the fact that you're already currently losing money right now and bleeding it, and you're getting a lot of refunds for your number one selling product and the most expensive? So there's two things we could possibly do here. Number one, speed up delivery. Number two, we'll add white glove customer service and talk to your clients until the product's done. And three, we'll deliver it to your ads team and launch it. So I just contrasted everything. All the problems that they just told me are now my number one solution. I didn't talk about we have fucking Photoshop, we got Flash, we do HTML5, we can do GIFs. We don't need that stuff
Because they don't care. I want to point that out. You care as a person who's really good at it, but they don't give a shit. And so what Rahul did perfectly was say, hey, what are you even talking to me about? He built a bridge between that and a solution. He provided clarity, and that gets you the sale. And when he's saying, if I could, would, he's like, I need to find out what it is you want. And then it's, okay, hey, man, if I could solve that exact problem you just told me about, can we get started right now? Could we move forward? Could that solve your solution? Could you be happy about it? Why wouldn't they say
100%. And that's the greatest part. And so once we got the agreement that we're going to sign, and that's the reason the attorney was there, to get the scope of the work. We're going to be charging this price, we're going to have this unit, and then we went into volume. And there's renegotiations that went 100% to my advantage, where I tiered prices up and down based on style, quantity per person. So that's the fancier stuff that I learned through this process, that I have more margin because I'm much more valuable. And then I found myself so good at what we did that I became integral. I was unfireable. You could not fucking leave me without hurting yourself way worse. So that's called stickiness. Once you're sticky into a process like fucking glue, it's hard to get rid of you. So that was my goal. Is I have a service. I could be considered a commodity, but the way I'm going to do things is through my precise process, my precise customer service, which is hard to do. Really good customer service, it's hard to replicate that. You can replicate my work. You can make a design better than me. You may be more creative in the words you said on the ads itself. That wasn't the thing. It was because I was so good at schmoozing with their whole entire sales team to make sure they loved us, and then their customers. If the customers didn't like anything we did, we redid it, no cost. It was just like, done. You got it. You're right. You're the boss, and et cetera, et cetera. So we had SOPs up the wazoo. But my point being is, going back to the close, we're in the close. If I could accommodate this price, would that be something that we can move forward with relatively soon or in the next 30 to 60 days? That was a yes, yes, and yes. And then I felt a little bit.
Point out for everybody here, this is a $7 million plus dollar.
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't chump change. But the thing is,
to have that reference point.
Yeah, the $7 million, that's a big number. And trust me, it felt fucking good. I didn't know it was gonna be 7 million because along the way, it was based on the volume I did. It ended up accumulating a little over that. But my whole thinking in my mind shifted, is like, this is my first boardroom meeting. This is my first like major deal. This is my first publicly traded company that I remember doing things for. But that gave me so much more confidence because I was selling to the individual person. And the same sales cycle really was there, except I was making a couple $100 for that same sales cycle, right? So I just went to the top of the food chain, and then I worked my way down. So that same structure, the same sales Jedi training, the same exact like scripting, the frameworks are going to be applicable to so many different areas of life. Not only for even just socializing too, you can persuade your friends to go to your favorite restaurant if you don't like the ones they choose, but most importantly, to make an income and stop losing deals that you should be gaining. And that's the important part. But the unique twist of that story is my office was 2.5, 3 miles away from that office for realtor.com. By the time I got to my office, I maybe got in the office or even opened the door. They'd already called and said, you know what, check your email. Checked it. We had 60 orders day one from the meeting, and the contract wasn't even ready. That's how quick we executed. That's how important the sales information, the words we say, how we say it, the little nuances, the more advanced stuff, and maybe simple for a lot of people who have seen this, heard this, or tried it. But it's really about like some pausing, some tonality, some language, because I used to cause so much resistance because I would say my product is so fucking good that if you don't buy it, you're broken. So I was pushing this shit down your throat. Like I was like, I took to heart Ben Affleck's character in the movie Boiler Room. I used to memorize Ben Affleck's lines because I loved it when he throw the keys across the table. He's like, I drive a Ferrari, blah, 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 etc. So I used to love those things. And I thought that was life. I thought that was cool. But no, people don't like it because the one component I didn't realize is at that time when I was young and idiot and stupid was that I'm not an actor. This is not a movie. I'm actually talking to a human with emotions that has a desire, they have a pain, and they're going to get a solution. And if it's not mine, it's somebody else's.
Mhm. I
So the
love
words
that.
we say are
Guys,
super
there's been
important.
some serious bombs dropped. There's a shit ton of you guys have been on here, hopping on and off. I'd apologize for the ad everyone tag, but I'm not apologizing for it. You guys got it. This is some good shit you guys found out. And we apparently got a new toy that will definitely go away tomorrow. So, don't be too worried.
Dude, I gotta address this one, Rob, my man, Rob Quinn, my favorite person that's named Rob Quinn. We gotta address my chest pump.
What, is he just saying that it looks like
I,
you're working out, or did you actually bump on your chest at some
no, it's actually, you know what? If I wore a different shirt than this, like Under Armour one, it would look wildly different. So I'm gonna give the shirt the credit. It has nothing to do with my fitness, but I have been working out. But yes, I do. I definitely do enjoy the workouts. But yeah, Jason, what up, my man? We're doing a spotlight with Jason Reno, Frank DeMaio in the house,
Oh
Tara.
yeah, what did they do? What's the spotlight? What's the title of it? They said
Yeah. So
contracts lately. So let's do a little plug for that. And then
yeah,
while Rahul talks here, guys, I want everybody to put in the comments what was the number one do or don't from this that he said, and he dropped some fucking good ones. Not just about the 40 million and the history and this big ass deal that he just talked about the whole story through, but what was the biggest takeaway, the biggest sales do or sales do fucking not that you can take away from this? Put it down in the comments. And while they do that, Rahul, tell us what's coming up next. Is it next? Are they doing first?
We're going to be doing 2 student spotlights. So because we've done this over like a couple hundred people directly, intimately in an inner circle, like the people who are going to join the Jedi sales training thing, we've duplicated this. We know that it's knowledge that's transferable, it's repeatable, it's proven, it's already been done. So we have evidence of it. So we like to enjoy and sharing the stories, not because of ourselves and how cool we are. It's because we like to see the experiences of people who take action. They're the ones that get the result. And we all know that. We all fucking know that, because if you loved like instruments as a child, you'd be beating that drum until your parents wanted to kill you, or playing the guitar or the flute or whatever it is you did. You're going to practice, practice, practice. Now that we're adults, when all the stakes are on the line, the most important thing ever in anything you do when you own your own business is sales, is always going to be the ability to push it. Because the people who aren't good at sales, you can actually buy their companies that they've probably spent 2 years on for like $3,000. So 2 years, 765 plus days, or whatever that number is, 720 days, they put their blood, sweat, and tears because they didn't get the skill to be able to push the product, selling digitally, selling over the phone, selling to many people at once. This is what we're all going to cover. We're going to show you how to make life easier, because I love it when I make my competitors my biggest allies, and my lead generation and my champions and my salespeople all at the same time. That's the partner model. And then we have our direct like component. That's one channel. Then we have our direct component, direct to the end buyer, the end person you're going to fulfill for. That's another channel. There's so many ways to prioritize channels based on what you sell to make life easier. Because how many people, like, I think it's really good to get dirty in the streets, in the sense of pick up the phone, get some cold calls going just to have a conversation. Because if you're calling a restaurant and you're making reservations, that confidence to make that reservation is what you should have when you call that same restaurant to say, hey, maybe I can get some more butts in your seats. I'm not sure yet, but would it be worth a conversation? right? So we have to have that comfort level to be able to get kicked in the teeth. And I'd rather do it on an opportunity that's colder than it is when we're supposed to do it when it matters, when somebody wants your stuff, right? So that's super helpful. So we'll give you guys some hacks, but let me give you a couple games. I'm gonna give you, you know what? I'm gonna give you two. I wrote down four, but I'm gonna give you two. We're gonna do the object game. So you're just going to grab an object that's closest to you. Right now is my watch. So I can show it to you. I'll say, hey, it's a little gold. It's got a blue band. It's got a clip. It's rubber. And then I put it down. I put the timer on the phone and I'll say, okay, Cody, you have 30 seconds to ask as many questions about this watch as possible. I have to give this credit of this game to Will Odos, my man Will. He showed this to me. The cool part about this game for people is it gets your wittiness going. It gets your brain churning. It gets you a little bit uncomfortable because at first you're like, why didn't you get red? I saw a little pink. Was it pink? Like you'll have the stutters, you'll have the jitters. But then when you get in rhythm, did they have it in black? Where did you get it? Do people think it's expensive? Do people know it's from a Cracker Jack box? So you'll get that rhythm, you'll get that fluidity going. So it gets your rhythm of talking out loud going. The next thing is going to be a series game. So does everybody understand that mirror game? Like type in mirror if you know that, because like I want to, that's something I do with like training when people haven't been hired or even during morning meetings to kind of break up the boring monotony of a fucking another meeting. Right. So we have some fun with our people. And the last one is going to be a series. It's going to be the series game. So like, let's say California is the series. Well, like, so Cody, how long have you been visiting California for? Do you have other family members that live in California? Where do you stay in California? Did you go to college in California? What makes California so attractive to you? Would you recommend other people come to California? Have you ever been to Magic Mountain in California, etc.? So we just kind of get like our brain going. There's some other fun games that you guys are going to learn that'll get the chops going, turn this game into fun, turn sales into, shoot, that phone's so fucking heavy, to be like, I'm ready to rock. It's all these different things that we can bring together. And we're going to give you our multi-million-dollar script. It's eight-figure script that we've been using. It's, when I say scripts, I truly mean a framework. If you were taking acting class, of like, here's your script, I'm going to say this line, you say that line. I'm going to give you lines that open up the prospect to start talking so you can get information. And then you can start writing down, what are the pains? What's this causing? What's going to happen if they don't solve this? So you'll be able to understand what their true bottleneck in their business and life is. Because the last thing we want to do is think about it. Let me check my funding, because those are all going to be smoke screens. We have to dig way deeper. So the rule of thumb, if you don't know what you're doing, is, and you hear objection, ask two, three more questions behind that objection.
And I gotta say, what did he just say? It's all a smoke screen. What are we gonna do? Ask 2, 3 more questions. Sounds an awful lot like somebody who needs to learn some Jedi mind tricks. But here's the thing, guys. I want to say this real quick. So I'm gonna bring this up and just to let you guys know the beta price for this. It's going to be, we're going to be selling it probably for $500 once it's all done, ready to rock. The beta price is literally just $197, or you can do 2 $100 payments, and you're actually going to get a bunch of private sessions with us, which is just absolutely stupid. But we want to make this thing freaking phenomenal, and I really can't explain enough. And if you want this, guys, if you want to become a sales Jedi, you want to check this out. It's going to be all about high ticket sales objections. It's going to be literal breakdowns of actual live recordings of actual things. If you want this, put a hashtag Jedi down below. But I just want to kind of go over one thing. I can't express how ridiculously valuable I think it will be to have Rahul literally show you a actual recording of an actual sales call and then break down what happened in his brain during it to combat that exact objection. So it's one thing to sit there and say, you know, we'll sit here and we're going to teach you, this is the kind of way that you should feel about it. All of them are smoke screens. You know, you got to provide certainty and all this shit that you can learn wherever you want. It's another thing to see real world examples of role played scenarios and then real recordings of actual people getting through actual, and by people, I mean pros. 18 years experience for him, 10 years experience for me. We've gone through every program imaginable from some of the best salespeople in the world. And we've taught 200 to 300 people now to do sales and this kind of stuff. We know what we're talking about is my point. He's close. He just told you about a $7 million deal. To get real insight from pros over top of real life examples, to me is unbelievably invaluable. And to do it for what, $200 because it's a beta launch for this. The only reason it is this cheap right now is because we always want to give shit to our family first. It's you people that we build this community for and we do this shit for. And we want to gauge enough interest to really flesh it all out and build it out. So if we don't get enough, we won't put the effort into really getting it done. If there's enough effort into it, you guys are going to see some unbelievably amazing shit. So
Yeah,
if
so
you want it,
so
hashtag Jedi down below.
Yeah, hashtag Jedi down below. We'll get you the link. But also we'll kind of go over this a little bit deeper. But like some of the cool things that we'll go over are going to be some advanced stuff. You'll get the basics. We'll rehearse. We'll practice. We'll get on you. We'll make things uber uncomfortable because sometimes you need a fucking kick in the ass sometimes, and we're happy to be that person and lend our foot to your butt. Okay, so that's totally fine. Like we're going to move you to get the thing that you've always wanted. But number two is we'll go over some advanced stuff because I don't know if you guys have ever heard some weird objections. Like I've had like, let me pray on it. I've had like, I'm waiting for a higher power to tell me what to do. And like going through those, the frameworks still work because I've been on Zoom calls where somebody's told me, I need to pray on it. And I said, well, what type of prayer do you think you'd be doing? And I said, can we do it together? And then we'll pray together, close our eyes. And I'll say, do you mind if you keep your eyes closed and I pray for you? And then I'll just take people through. What do you want in life? Like, what have you been wanting all this whole entire time? When did you want it? Are we on time? Are we not on time? So there's going to be like some cool stuff that are all going to be like, once you understand the foundational structure of this, then you can do that fancy advanced stuff. And that's why I have these games. That's why some people think these silly games are there. It's almost, I don't want to say this is a Mr. Miyagi hack, like wax on, wax off, but it is. It fucking is. That's why we do the mirror games. That's why we do the object game. That's why we have the series game. That's why we have that voice fluctuation game, like which you guys will all learn. And it's going to make the people who know this information much more powerful, much more money, much more fulfilled, more vacation, more free time, more family time. That's your Hawaii. That's your destination. The longer you wait, the longer it goes further and further back, and the more competitive and more difficult it becomes, right? So imagine if you're selling a decade ago, it probably could have been a little bit simpler without fucking Facebook being so dominant. There'd probably be, I'd say, 66% marketing people on this planet, but Facebook opened up that marketplace. Now we have to be a little bit better. What's going to happen in another year? More platforms, more places to sell, more competition comes in, right? So we're all competing against everybody when it comes to that person's budget, that person's heart, that person's outcome. They have options, they have choices, they have information on the internet. We want that choice to be you guys. So if you guys are interested, it's up to you guys. I think it's super valuable because we're obviously the creators of the information. We've trained a lot of people on this, not only from our in-house team, but also a lot of people that have joined the family, like intimately in our inner circle programs. But now we're bringing this fleshed out part of sales to you guys. So just give us that hashtag Jedi below, and we'll knock it out. But before we go, I know you guys have spent a lot of time. So number one, we appreciate you guys even being here, being a part of this group. So give yourselves a pat on the back for that. So I'm going to give you guys a bunch of hearts in the comments. If you guys can celebrate each other, give some hearts, give some comments, because you guys have listened to us talk for a little while here. So we truly, truly appreciate your time. That does not go unnoticed.
I mean, listen to us talk doesn't really do credit to the fucking knowledge bombs that I got to sit here and participate in. So if you guys, I saw some good takeaways. I hope that you guys wrote this down. If you did, we always recommend taking notes, dropping them below. I like to do like a live journaling thing, the same as Rahul does, and just put the notes in the actual comments and all that kind of stuff. But at the very least, if you thought this was amazing as a standalone thing and you got something out of it, tell Rahul, tell me down in the comments. This is the kind of shit that fuels us, man. This is why we do this. And we're going to really show up all the time. I mean, we already do, but we try our best and we're going to continue to do it. And to do it properly, the energy that you guys feed us by saying, hey, man, that was super helpful. It helped me improve my life, my business, makes us want to do it even more. So I'm seeing a whole bunch of hashtag Jedi.
All right, hold on.
Rahul says he's not done. He's got a
Q&A. Who has some? Let's get some questions. So live from you guys. I know that don't hold back. You don't get what you don't ask. Like, you know what I mean? So the loudest mouth will always eat the most. The closed mouths never eat. So if you guys have a couple questions, like about the program, about an objection, about something, we can answer it. Because I know there was a question about, somebody said something earlier about Facebook and niching. What's the best? I mean, honestly, the best answer to answer like what you should do on Facebook is what niche do you like? What access do you have to that type of customer? Like if it's a real estate agent, you may have more access because they have their cell phones. That's their office line. A doctor may only have Thursdays between 2 and 4. And can you get yourself immersed in that network? Can you see yourself working in that industry for another year? And you have the sales ability and the offer that can get them the end desired result. So, I mean, you have to kind of have some sort of love of what you're doing to want to do it for a long period of time, because you don't have to necessarily love the industry. Because I know some of my friends doing $500,000, $1 million a month in the agency world, doing some weird ass niche that they don't know shit about until they found out there's a lot of money in there. Now they love the game of the process. So they wake up every day saying, I love this game. I love selling this offer. I love finding solutions. I don't necessarily love the niche, but I love the solutions I do. So that's what drives people. You have to have that inner channel, that inner drive to be able to do something. So that's not a good answer, but you got to make sure your customers are actually on Facebook if you're going to run Facebook ads. Because some people are really, really hard to reach on Facebook, or maybe appropriate for a different method.
Yeah, I mean, look, for niche, there's a whole bunch of that in the perfect stranger method. Go to the top of the group, go to the guides tab, go to the perfect stranger method. It'll be a good one for you to do. But realistically, Facebook ad service, you want to know, can they pay high ticket? Can you find them online? And the third thing that most people for some reason forget is, how does it affect your energy? If you wake up every day tomorrow and those are the people you have to work with, those are the ones that you're going to spend your whole day on, is that going to energize you to kick ass and crush that next level and keep pushing that forward? Or is it going to drain your energy and make you feel like a piece of shit and garbage? And then therefore you're not going to work. You could be the best person in the world, get them the most amazing results ever. But if every day you wake up and you don't want to do it, you're demotivated, you're draining your energy, you're never going to crush those next levels. You're not going to do it. You don't have the motivation to do it.
And I've done that before, because we were a full service agency where we did too much stuff that we weren't great at some of the things. And a lot of the things we weren't great at, people would actually want, and we would sell it. And all I would be thinking is like, fuck, like this is supposed to take like 30 days to fulfill this goddamn thing. And then it would take 45, 60, 90. I'm like, shit, our cost structure is going up. Our price stayed the same. Now the customer is going to be unsatisfied. So we had to shelve some products along the way because it was keeping us up at night, most notably me. That story that I said about selling websites and being the project manager and selling to dentists, to doctors, and then to another project and giving it to the delivery team, that was me. So I wasn't telling that from like a pseudo person. That was actually a true story where I had to literally get some rest at some point, where I was doing every fucking thing. I actually created the biggest bottleneck in the entire fucking business. My biggest talent was the ability to acquire clients. And I decided to say, let me also be the project manager. Let me also be the one that stays up and doesn't sleep. Let me also deal with the interfaces of the overseas team, the local team, everybody. So it caused so much damage that I had to undo it, that I caused it. And then I got smart. Then I said, what do I want to do with my team? By me, most notably as a person, I'm good at sales. I have to actually stay as motivated and highest energy to be able to pay my staff, pay the bills, fulfill for the customer, and then whatever rolls downhill goes to me. So I became the commission only rep in an organization, which all of you guys are if you're entrepreneurs. But then I knew a way to make it more efficient, and I knew how to get customers faster because we learned sales. We learned how to go to where our customers are and completely contrast away from the competition. Because the last thing I'm going to end with here is the fact that when I was doing these things for realtor.com, and I was selling these marketing ads, I was writing their copy, I was creating the design, I was making the landing pages and the funnels, and we were getting paid per unit. Every unit we did, if we did one ad this way, horizontal, one ad this way, that's 2 units. We did a landing page, a different price. If we did 4 for one customer on the top, on the side, then we got paid 8 times. So that was a per unit thing. The unique part about this is that while I got hired and my price was maybe 10 times the other person that they were kind of using before we came across, like as a side vendor, they were charging a significant lower price. I ended up hiring that vendor to do the thing for realtor.com for a lot of the time. So they were paying me this high rate. I was paying them this low rate, and I just negotiated with them. I said, hey, you have a 10 to 12 day turnaround time. I need 1. And on top of that, I need unlimited revisions. If I give you under 100 unit volume in any given month, my price goes up. Can you make that happen? So I basically made them my employees and got them to do the thing that they were doing much faster. So we got really strategic. So that's why this framework that I'm talking about, it works in other categories. It works in vendor negotiations. It works in large ticket boardrooms, but also it works in one-to-one conversations. Because some people that I've met out there, like they can't sell their own fucking service for free. Hey, real estate agent, how would you like 100 buyer leads? I'm not going to charge you a dime. All you have to do is pay for the ads. No, I don't want to pay for the ads. You can't even sell the fucking service for free to get a case study. How are we going to now sell that for $1,500 a month, $3,000 a month? Heck, what if you get like good and you say, I'm good. I can sell $10,000 to the realtor that would say no to the free, the $10,000 thing for a 3-month, but pay in advance. Or if you want to break it up, it'll just be slightly more. And we can do it in 3-month increments or 1-month increments. So there's different ways that this can be applied. Okay. So think about that, because we're going to tie a couple things, because we're your people. Well, this is the people's group, I guess. Let's call it. The Rock is the people's champ. We're the people's group for the marketing and the sales and the consultants. We're going to be covering some other ground that's actually imperative to sales, is the productization of your product. So you actually know it. Because if you've ever been on a call with a client and they're jiving with you and they're like, hey, can we get started? What's this going to cost? And then you cause the resistance saying, oh, well, let me just think about like all of this stuff and write it down, give you a proposal. What you just did is what you never want a client to ever ask you. You said, I'm going to give you the proposal, and they're the ones supposed to pay you. Normally the client says, give me a proposal. Let me just review this stuff. That a lot of times means fuck off, because you don't need proposals. We just did the proposal live together. We already know you have this pain, I have the solution. You have those 7 things, we're going to solve these 8, because
and for the record, a proposal to me is another objection. It's another smoke screen. See, Rahul just blew the smoke screen for you right now.
Yep, you're welcome. Timing is everything.
And that's the thing though, because what is a proposal? It's lack of clarity. So you did something wrong in the presentation where they don't really understand what they're getting. They don't really understand what the product is, and they don't understand that it'll help them, right? And so it's part of this Jedi training, guys. And again, if you want this training for the beta price, it's literally just $200, $197 for just the beta price. It's going to be $500 later on. Right now, it's just this because we're building it out and we want you guys, just our family, to be a part of it. You're also going to get some direct one-on-one coaching from us for this, which is just stupid because it costs way more than that to even talk to us. But I'm not going to be that guy. We're just giving it to you because we want to give you guys more shit, especially the ones who all showed up today. We're almost at 100 comments, guys. Give me 5 more #Jedis so that we can hit 100 comments, guys, if you want to have this. But the biggest thing here, guys, is learning shit, how to get past that. You're going to get to listen to us actually teach you how to get past stuff just exactly like that. Video trainings that are fast, easy, and good to follow. Flashcards to go with every single objection, along with all of these video trainings and recordings. I don't know. It's going to be really good. I just wanted to
go in the door. Whoa. Go to the fucking flashcards. I mean, like, by the way, I'm seeing this page for the first time along with you guys. Like, those are like, we wrote some objection cards, and I mean, and Cody kicked my ass to finally put this together. He's like, dude, get this shit on, get it in flashcard format. So we had our designer put some stuff together.
Yeah, this has been a concept for how long? At least
we put this on our roadmap 2 years ago, and now it's finally a reality. Yeah, because we've always had it like spread, but we have it for our team like in Google Sheets, but then we never actually put it into like cards where we can just literally like go to the gym and have it in your back pocket, and in between breaks look at it while you're waiting for coffee. It's like a micro moment of learning, because I don't know about you guys, but when I learn something, I'm a really slow learner. That's why it takes me a little bit longer, but shit like this helps, because like you've seen how I take notes at home, right, Cody? Because I'm gone. I literally have 3x5 note cards. I have boxes of them. All my notes go on flashcards. The only reason I do that is because they're so small that and they're easy to lose, that I'm forced to write. I'm forced to indoctrinate it into my brain.
I thought you carved it into stone tablets.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna put it on my chest and everything, or my hand, but my point is, like, I do it on flashcards because they're easy to hold, they're easy to like keep with you or travel with. But also, like, when I do stuff, I document everything, because like that Bart Simpson TV show, The Simpsons, back in the days, where he starts it, says, I will not be late for class. I just write down everything as many times as I can so I can't forget it. Like Nick Saban, the Alabama head coach, probably the greatest college football player or football coach of all time, he talks about practice until you can't get it wrong. And that's what this is going to be. It just takes repetition, repetition. We'll give you those tricks so it doesn't feel like you're doing homework or you feel like there's a teacher over your neck. But you have to also think, how important is this to you if you had an extra $100,000 in your pocket in this year by the year end? Because I truly believe that a lot of people don't realize that your lowest hanging fruit is sitting in your phone. There's a lot of people that can use your services right now. We have how to actually sell to your friends, because if you think never do business with friends and family, it's because you don't believe in your product. You believe that your family and your friends should get discounts. They should be paying the same exact price because they should support you, but more importantly, they're going to pay a higher price to a complete stranger. They get you. We're going to go over all of that stuff, how you can pull exact clients from people who already know, like, love you, and probably trust you too. So there's gonna be a lot of shit, man. Like, I mean, this could be the most comprehensive thing we've ever like actually organized all in one fucking house. It's not gonna be like YouTube where you have to know what to search for or pick a video on a playlist because it's the next video. This is gonna have everything like housed in one.
Granular on one specific thing that
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely gonna blow people's minds. And I think if you want to handle all of the fucking high ticket objections you could ever think of, I can't think of a better product, to be honest. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. And if this was something I had 10 years ago when I was doing my agency and I was on the up and up, it would have been amazing. And I mean, look, to me, guys, like, it's like every time you run into a smoke screen, you have one of these flashcards, you have a recording to listen to, right? The flashcards can be for when you're live on the thing, and the recording can be for after the call's over so you can go fix it. I mean, how cool would that be to have? I just think it's such a good thing to finally be coming out, guys. And again, oh, we hit 100 comments. Thank you to whoever's out there doing that shit. Drop me a hashtag Jedi if you want it. We'll get you the link. I've already told you it's 197 or 2 payments of 100 for now. It will go up later on once it's done, but you will also won't. You'll have to pay more later, and you won't get any coaching or direct Q&A sessions with us. So, I mean, I don't know. Sounds like that sucks. I'd probably just
yeah, this is going to be the highest touch point, highest access that we're ever going to give for this particular product, because it's $200. It's literally
it's the beta launch. We want to hear
Yeah.
from you guys. We want to make it better, and you guys will get to come on these things for the next few weeks with us. Afterwards, we'll do private VIP sessions and do the Q&A. I mean, that alone is worth way fucking more than the thing. So if you want it, hashtag what?
Jedi.
Jedi. Mind tricks. Clear the smoke. I don't see any
Cool.
last minute comments. I just see a whole bunch of Jedis and happy people. So we can wrap it up here, Rahul, unless you got any last minute words of wisdom.
No, well, for the people that commented Jedi, we'll get you the link so you can sign up and enroll. Do it right away, and then because once we get to that 20 number, we're going to cap out. We may do 30. We're not sure. That maybe the marketing thing. This isn't going to be false sense of urgency, because we're going to be putting a lot of energy into this with you guys to get a change. So the sooner you do it, and then you're going to get the better price. That's the main thing, but you'll get access to us live on Zoom calls. So we can actually go over like hot seats, do some role play, show you some live calls, and we'll do some breakdowns of why things happened on a call, why things went south on a call, how things went north on the call, and then also how to recover if you fuck something up. Okay. And then we'll teach you if you're going to screw something up. My philosophy is, I call it staying in the pocket. Like Tom Brady, the pocket may collapse. Like he'd rather just get demolished with a sack, just waiting for that right timing. And that's how I do it in sales too, is that if I'm going to burn a call down, I'm staying in the pocket, and I'm going to exhaust all my resources of my brain, my knowledge, my questions to see how far I can take it, so I can actually learn after that call. So I'll watch and listen to my game film, because whenever I get objections and I don't do something that I should have done, when I listen to my own replays, I either did one of two things. I didn't hear their true pain points and I skipped something, or I went out of order. And that's a discipline we just have to focus on, because as soon as we get a referral, we jump to like, oh, these guys are going to buy. Or our friend that wants to upgrade into YouTube ads, like, hey, man, what does YouTube ads look like with y'all? And then you're like, oh, well, it's going to be this, this, and this. Here's the price. And then they say, well, I found this other company, and now you're at threat to lose what you have with them now. So we'll show you those nuances, just so you don't like lose sales, not only from your existing customers. You have the ability to upsell, cross-sell, add more value to them if you have multiple product stacks, and also how to identify how to fix your own like calls by listening to them. So you'll get all that shit from us. Lots of stuff.
Gonna be amazing. Gonna be really good. Gonna get some shit done. Hashtag Jedi if you want it. Otherwise, just drop your feedback from today's call.
Yeah, takeaways. I love to hear your takeaways. Those are the most important things because your feedback really, truly fucking matters to us. We really actually watch, listen to it. We build products around what we see the market need. And we've like Cody mentioned, we've spent, I mean, I'd probably say like maybe a little over $500,000 over education. And we've learned from the CEO of stamps.com, or the original founder of stamps.com, the CEO of Sony Home Entertainment, Eli, Tony Robbins' #1 guy, like all kinds of like cool ass people that have like this whole bigger thinking. Once we're getting into the big thinking stuff, it just changes the dynamic because we not only want to give you the skills, but the way your brain is thinking. We want to think way bigger. Like Apple is think different. We want to think bigger. Okay. All right. That's all I got for today, man. We had a lot of people on here. Thank you guys for joining. The ones that stayed all the way to the end, you guys are fucking awesome. If you came on here, hashtag live and hashtag replay. But if you want this sales course, don't fall asleep on it. It's $200. So it's super low cost compared to the sales that you may be losing. Could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. Think about that. And then if you want to enroll, we'll cap it at 20. And for the ones that join us, we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, everyone.